New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Julie and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
Hey, welcome to the High Vibe Hour. I'm Reverend Julie Moret. I am a spiritual teacher and inspirational speaker at the Agape International Spiritual Center, founded and directed by Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. We're so grateful to New Thought Media Network for hosting us. And my partner in crime is...
I am Rev Skip. Yes, partner in shine.
I love it.
I am Rev Skip, and I am a teacher. I am a podcaster, of course, an author with a new book that's coming out very, very soon. Excited for that. And I'm just grateful to be here. Everything's always better on a Friday. So we are dropping into the High Vibe Hour. Hey there. How you doing?
I'm so good. I'm so good. I am finally, and at last, I've been saying for so long I was going to have my own space. And it reminds me of, there's a Virginia Woolf book called A Room of One's Own. And I'm that kind of person, like, that really needs my own space, my own. And I think when that book came out, it was specifically speaking about how important it is for women to have a place that is their own, something that's their own. And I think that that's universal. I think maybe, I don't know, you all, as you're listening, you can let us know if you agree with this, but I think it's important to have some place to create and think and be quiet, or just do, sometimes it's called a man cave, like you do you. So I'm grateful to have my space. And that's like my big news for the week, is that I'm finally in. It's been a long time coming. I have construction all around me. So this is the one little spot where it looks like I'm all good. And I am all good. I'm so excited. I have my books again. They've been in boxes for a long time. And books are like my best friends. So I'm back with all my best friends. How about you?
But I want to say that it is so important. I'm feeling your vibe. And I'm very excited for you. I'm the type of person too. I need to have my own space. And right now I love my housemate, Bill. Bill and I have been best friends for years. But there is something about, because there is no buts, just there is something very special about going home to your space, how you've created it. That is your oasis. And I always say that this is my sanctuary that I want to come home to and be in a space where it feels like, oh, I created that. That chair is there because I put it there because it means something to me. Right now, my life is in storage because moving back from Florida has been in storage for over a year now. Wow. And I have stuff in storage and stuff in my office in North Hollywood, Church of Religious Science, but it's still not me. I'm in this corner in the living room, my office, and I'm in, a one bedroom, and I don't have room for all my shoes or my clothes. So I'm digging you, sis. Look at you.
Yeah. I want to share something.
Sure.
Hey, Liz, welcome. What I want to share is there have been times in my life when I didn't have space to myself. And so the way that I took care of myself in those moments is I would create something like a little altar moment on the nightstand on the side of my bed, or, and I would find little places where it could be like a breath for me. So I definitely want to share that there are ways to create that, like, that thing, even when you don't yet have.
My bedroom is my sacred space. I have an altar going on in my bedroom. And there is, because we've talked about this, having conversation, it's time for me to expand. It's time for me to, and I'm the type of person, listen, I'm a Cancer Gemini. I love to have my space where I come home. It's my sanctuary. And I don't have to talk to anybody. I'm just that person. Listen, I talk for a living. Sis,
Yeah.
you know, I talk for a living. I teach classes. I'm a minister. I have a podcast. And sometimes when I get home, I just don't want to talk.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have to answer anybody's questions. And I don't want to be rude not to answer questions. I just want to be in the silence.
Yeah. Oh, I can appreciate that. Oh, you know something else that's new and
But
different for me
what's that?
is
Tell me.
I have a desk that I can stand at right now. So I'm standing and
Oh,
I feel really different standing than sitting. I've never done that before.
yeah.
Like I
Oh,
feel more in my body. So
I
I'm like, this is new too.
I love that. I've always
Yeah.
had stress since my first back surgery in 2010. And before, there were those little things you put on top and you raise it up from on top. You stand up. So, but now I have the coolest thing. I don't know if I'm able to do it without destroying everything, but I have a button on the side right here that I can lift my table up without having to
Me
lift it
too.
up. You have that too?
I feel
It's
like we
the
could spend
best
a whole
thing.
hour raising and lowering our desks.
Because it's our body's not meant to sit, and it's not great for our back. It's
It's
sitting
so
is not
good.
great, and I do it now so I can settle into the space and be in the
Mhm.
place of meditation. But time we're done, I stand up, lift my table up. I'm doing all my recordings. I do recordings for Insight Timer, my
Right.
meditation standing. I do the editing standing. I'm editing the book everything. I'm just
I
standing.
love it. I love it. Hey, I want to say two things. I know we're going to get to our topic, which is the diet reboot part 2, and I'm
Yeah.
super pumped about that. It's like one of my favorite things is to talk about like where are we at, where do we want to be, what's the bridge, how do you get there? So I'm super psyched to get there. I want
Yeah.
to say two things to you. One is I just want to acknowledge your attention to detail and excellence because you know we've been friends for a long time but I haven't
Mhm.
known this side of you in business before,
Hmm.
and the way that you show up with this podcast and your intention and level of excellence, I just wanted,
Mm.
I was going to say it when we were having our pre-meeting but then I figured let me do it publicly.
Oh
You
my
know, like,
goodness.
I
I
really
love
want to just
that.
acknowledge that. And the other
Thank
thing,
you.
I don't know what you're doing but like you look really good. You look very healthy, very fit.
Yeah,
Something feels like new and different. And
it
so,
is. It
yeah,
is. We'll talk about that when we get into the reboot. I love how you said, and I think we're gonna work this out. Let's on our next production meeting. Instead of the checking in, what's new and good. I love how you led us into that. I like that. It feels really amazing for me to hear that because everything's new and everything's good. Everything's new, every moment, every breath, everything good is in God. So I'm going to use that. What's new and good for me right now is the editing of the book. And this is the
what's it
book
called?
that,
We can hear the title.
oh, yeah, it's called Transform in 10 Steps for Thriving at 50 and Beyond. We've
Beautiful.
now created a brand called the 50 and Beyond Crew or the 50 and Beyond Tribe. We're going to do 50 and Beyond retreats, 50 and Beyond workshops, 50 and Beyond. So we're using that term. This is coming out of this editing of the book. Throughout the book, you'll see 50 and Beyond that's been italicized and it's been brought up. So we're creating that brand because it's just not at 50, it's 50 and Beyond. We're moving forward. We're in the process of editing, which I was holding on to it for so long because I really fearful about getting the book out there. I was in my head, oh, no one's going to read this. This is my 4th book. The last 3 books only had a moderate amount of success, but it was successful. This is the ego playing with me. I get it to the editor, and the editor or the publisher, they're doing their final editing, sent it back to me, and I'm reading it. I'm going, look what the universe wrote through me.
Ah,
I'm actually appreciating my own writing. And you know how sometimes you want to compare yourself. I've been reading the life visioning process. I'm going, Michael Beckwith is so freaking awesome. I want to be like Michael Beckwith. And Spirit's saying, but you are Reverend Skip. You are Skip. You are putting something out there that no one else is doing. And I realized that this is not something a lot of people are talking about, transformation after in 50 and beyond. whenever I told someone or another author or the publisher or whoever, they're saying this is the time that people need to hear this.
Right.
So I've gotten a chance to kind of what's doing good for me to fall back in love with this divine creativity that's within me. And I'm going, okay, God, I see you wrote this through me. You wrote it, in your book. Do you ever get to that place where someone says, I remember in your book you said this, and you go, did I? Okay. Because you
Yeah.
got so much coming through. And I read the book, I'm going, I wrote that. I wrote that.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate um, creating the space to become open and available to allow something that wants to move through in an effective manner and a way that makes
Mm,
a difference. And it's always so satisfying. So yeah, I'm glad that you're able to take a look at what came through you and really appreciate it and see
mm.
the value and the merit. And so yeah, I'm seeing lots of Linda has a comment. I'm well into the 50 and beyond group, having retired nearly 5 years ago. The adjustment was more challenging than I had anticipated. Yeah, I appreciate you speaking up, Linda. And Liz said, what about 60 and beyond? Well, 50 and beyond
And
includes
beyond.
60. Yeah, and
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
and so I just want to share, I think it's so important, whatever age, whatever stage of life we're in, to take a moment and see like what matters to me now? What is a purpose or a mission? And it's going to be
Mhm.
different in different seasons of our lives, but to have something that matters to you, and
Yeah.
preferably also or a way that you're contributing and giving back, because I know a lot of people when they go into retirement, that boy, that's a big deal. So to take the time, and maybe we will include this in the second part of this hour. We're going to do a visioning
Yeah.
process, and we can include like, what does, in the same way that Skip just said, I read what I wrote and I was like, whoa, that's good. In the same way, when we have a time to vision for our lives, you can hit into what wants to emerge now. Because as Michael
Mm.
Beckwith says all the time, if you can put a compact mirror under
Yeah.
your nose and it fogs up, like, there's still a goal, because there's still life. There's still something that wants to
Yeah.
shine through you. So let's re-up on that. Let's get clear on that. That was
Absolutely.
cool through the change, right?
And before we drop into our conversation further on, I'm going to throw you some love. I love working with you. I love that we're creating something new. I love this journey that we're on and really allowing ourselves to be in a place where we're not only teachers here for our New Thought Media Network family, but we're also students of each other. And I love that vibe. I love that energy, and I love what we're creating here. So I'm so excited. And I'm excited to get into our conversation today.
Absolutely. Because this space feels like friends getting together and
Yeah.
like creating accountability and checking in and like walking the spiritual walk together. And so today is the diet reboot part 2. And
Hmm.
it's really a check in on, our spiritual diet, our physical diet, all the things. Where am I at right now? How am I doing?
Yeah.
Did you try anything? Well, to try is to fail. Did you do anything over the course of the last week? Did
Hmm.
you make any adjustments? How did it work out? And if you
Say that
still,
again. You just said to try is to fail. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
yeah, to try is to fail. Because if you say I'm going to try something,
Oh my
then it's like,
God.
but instead it's like, I'm going to do something, right? I'm going to do this. So what did we, I think last week I said that I was going to show up more intentionally in my workouts, that I was going to like really hit my workouts rather than make my workouts a time to, sit on a Peloton and do my social media, to be more present. And I did pretty well with that. I did pretty well. I showed up pretty strong. There's another thing I really want to share.
Yeah.
What I noticed is that the role that stress and cortisol and
Mm.
peace and calm plays in getting results in my diet, because I noticed, the last several weeks, there's been a lot of, I've experienced a lot of stress. I've had a lot of change going on, and I was doing all the things that I was doing this week, but getting no real tangible results in, through my workouts, through what I was doing with food. And this week, I've really like had a place of calm and peace. And all of a sudden, like, scale dropped, and my muscle tone, my strength. And so I really want to sink into the role that peace and calm and harmony and balance plays in our systems. It's remarkable.
Absolutely. I feel that with you, sis, because it is known as, this is not a Skippyism or a Julieism. This is real fact science that your stress level will hold onto unwanted fat in your body, unwanted fat cells, and it actually holds your body back from cleansing, the detoxing that's required. So stress puts poison back into the body, which we want to clear it out. And in turn, it actually creates more inflammation and more pain in the body when we're stressful. I love what you said. You want more of the, I had this experience this morning with my computer, and I was just flared up, and I was like, and I yelled out the F word. I said, And then in that moment, I took a breath, and I heard myself tell myself, it's already okay. You don't have to be in stress. In the calmness of that, I showed up in this podcast differently. And the first thing you said to me, you look so good. Because
Yeah,
I went through a calming experience, a calm before I got on. I took a breath and I said, oh, I'm going to be in the joy today. That's what I did.
Yeah. And their results. And I read your comment, Liz, and Liz is talking about, like, well, what if you really have stuff going on, physical stuff, and you're bedridden or whatever it is? And it reminded me of how the law of service works. I was last week, I was up in San Francisco doing a corporate engagement, and we did this practice, and I started speaking with people. I shared this last week about how I'm blending. I'm one person now. I don't have corporate Julie. I don't have spiritual Reverend Julie. I have just me wherever I go. And so I spoke with this very corporate group about the law of service. And when we give, we are always given. You don't give to get, but when you give, you are given. That's how the law of service, of generosity works. And I said, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning if I give, in this area to this person, they're going to give back to me. But when you give, it activates something, and you are given in return. So I shared that, and a woman had spoken up, and she said, and she was being really brave, because they don't talk about prayer in this corporate environment. And she said, I want to let all of you know that I'm very involved in my church, and I have made it a spiritual practice that in the mornings I get up and I pray for every single one of you. She prays for her entire team. And so I just started speaking to her, and I said, I started speaking about the law of generosity and how you will be served back. And we had this whole moment. So that night there was a banquet. And as part of that banquet, the CEO of the entire company came. He had not been at our event earlier in the day. And he made a presentation honoring one member who had really shown up, and they were giving this beautiful financial gift. Yes. And it went to her. Wow. Isn't that remarkable? So that's like a powerful complete demonstration of how this is somebody that of her own just started to give service, and she was in a completely different way absolutely given back to. And I'm saying that thinking about Liz in this moment, that even when we feel like we have no purpose, we're older, life is, basically over, is what sometimes people are thinking, like, I've done everything I'm going to do. What if you allowed part of your daily practice to be serving others? And if you can't get your butt up out of bed, then maybe you do it in your consciousness. You just pick people, and you could pick a group of people in a certain part of the world. You can pick your own spiritual community. You could pick whoever and include your body, include yourself, and keep love and health
Yeah.
and vitality in your consciousness. And as you give, you are given.
I want to speak to Liz, and Liz, there's a lot of people who are in the 50 and beyond crew, or 50 and beyond tribe, we're calling it. And they're going through a very similar experience. And one of the things I talk about in the 10th step, it is gratitude and giving back. And part of the gratitude, that's step number 10. Gratitude and giving back is an energetic flow that really energizes us, and it keeps us in a young, energetic feeling. So I talk about that. The other thing too is what Reverend Julie was just talking about. I've had clients, physical, when I was a personal trainer, and still have clients that I do yoga with in their mind. And I asked them just to be present in your mind, in your consciousness. Close your eyes. I want you to see yourself in downward facing dog. I don't care how you get there, but get there in your mind. Now I want you to see yourself in warrior one pose. In your mind, feel it. What does warrior one feel like? Your left heel to the floor, right knee is bent, hands are high to the sky. See yourself. Now feel that energy of you holding warrior one. Yeah. And now open up to warrior two in your mind. Just open up to warrior two. You can physically do it, but in your mind, just open up to warrior two. Feel the energy of you holding warrior two pose. Exactly. Now come back into mountain pose, and you can be doing this in your bed too. Stand in mountain pose. What does it feel like to be in the mountain? Here's what I'm talking about. Your mind or your energetic body does not know any different from the real deal to what you're seeing in your mind. It cannot differentiate from the difference. So we have people who can't physically move, but they're working out in their body. And then you're going to see a shift in your energy and able to rise up and do the physical experience, the actual physical. I hope that helped you.
Yeah, I'm loving that. And there's so many cases of people that be when they're not able to do something physically, they begin it in their consciousness, and then there's improvements. In fact, Reverend Michael mentioned this last Sunday, and there's also a study of a group of basketball players. I think they were college basketball players, and they were told over the course of the next month, they were split into 3 different groups. One group was not supposed to practice at all. The other group would show up for their daily practices. And the third group, instead of physically practicing basketball, they were to visualize, imagine, doing all the exercises, shooting the hoops, like doing all the things. And at the end of the month, the group that did nothing actually got their skill set got a little worse. The group that practiced every day increased a little bit. The group that visualized increased almost as much as the group that visualized. The group that visualized increased almost as much as the group that actually practiced. So, so as long as
Phil Jackson used to do that. Phil Jackson used to take the Lakers through meditation, and he said, envision you're at the free throw line, and I want you to breathe through it. See yourself preparing, see yourself shooting the ball, and then see yourself dropping the ball, dropping in the middle of the hoop. They improved their free throw experience.
Yeah. So let's take a couple of minutes and do a little check-in and notice, like, where is my diet at? Where is my hydration at? How am I doing with getting fresh, pure, clear, clean water in my body? Have I done the research to know how much water? I like to do half my body weight in ounces of water. I start by like chugging about 20 ounces top of day, and then sip slowly throughout the day. How am I doing with water? How am I doing with foods? And we talked last week about what the plate looks like. For me, I like having at least 50% of my plate to look like, the veggies, the non-starchy veggies. Still eat all the things like what you want, but it's, portion size might shift depending on your goals. So notice, like, where is diet currently at?
Yeah. Well, I got to be honest with you. What really was a big shift for me, and I hit the mark on some things that were really great. Water, I didn't do what I said I was going to do, drinking the 20 ounces before. I really wanted to, but I've been sipping throughout the day. But what I did really, really well, my fasting, and which I'm calling my mindful window of eating. 8:30, 9 o'clock, the doors close. It's done. I don't eat till 12 p.m. And which has created this releasing of just food and body weight and toxins that I didn't want. And it made a shift in my body. I've been doing it for the last 2 weeks now. And I'm finding myself not really hungry.
Mhm.
Now I'm feeling a little hangry, and the body's saying, okay, it's time to have something. But I'm drinking black tea now. And if I want a little bit of milk in it, I'll use macadamia nut milk, which
Uh-huh.
gives a little bit more of a kind of creamy feeling. And I use a tiny little bit of agave because I still have a little bit of sweet, but this is what I drink throughout the morning. And
Yeah.
then I'll hit my juices. We talked about the juices. I'm addicted to my juices. I love it. And then I gradually start eating food and just having that mindful window eating. And
Mhm.
it's been very important. That has been the shift in me. The water, I need to work on. I know that's my place of improvement, Rev. I need to
Okay.
work on that water thing.
Well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're here for. I have to share my nut milk
Okay.
recipe because,
Okay.
oh
Oh,
my gosh, do I love it.
okay.
And
Please,
I've
please
never
do.
had macadamia nut milk, so that sounds
Yeah.
very luxurious and delicious. When
Yes.
I'll either take soy milk that's unsweetened or I'll make my own nut milk. And I do, if I'm making my own, I'll do water with a small handful of almonds. And then I put in cardamom and cinnamon and one or
Mm,
two dates, depending on how sweet I want it. And to me, it's like a
mm.
milk. It is my favorite thing. So if
Wow.
anybody wants a nutritious, like really delicious treat, it's either take soy milk and add cardamom, cinnamon, and one or two dates and blend it all up really well, or do like a couple of almonds with water and the other ingredients.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. That is really, really good. And
it's
I
so good.
remember I don't, and I'm this is where I'm gonna get better, my place of improvement. I don't have the patience, so I've been buying it out of Whole Foods,
Yeah.
my macadamia nuts. But you've inspired me to try. This is what I did this week, though. I don't know if you know what a vitamin mix is, the big
Yes,
mixer.
we've been
I have
talking
one of
about your
those.
vitamins. Yeah.
I have the Vitamix, the big one, the big, huge one. And instead of having or going to the supermarket and getting, my non-dairy ice cream or my non-dairy thing, I took passion fruit. I put
Mm.
it in there. I put ice in there. I put a little bit of the almond milk in, or the macadamia milk in there. A little bit of agave. I made this creamy thing. Poured it into a container, put it into the freezer. I made my own sherbet. I made my own stuff.
Oh, that sounds yummy.
I have not mastered it yet because it's still sometimes if you don't have the right combination, it gets rock hard and you haven't gotten the creaminess yet, so it needs a little
Okay.
something. But I'm willing to master that. I don't know. Maybe I should master the nut milk first. But I'm saying with the ice cream, sis. I'm getting with the but I'm
That's
making my
fun. I
own.
love that. I love coming up with your own stuff. So a diet reboot. So to take a
Yeah,
look, what am I doing? How's my water? Am I
yeah.
getting the veggies in? Am I getting the protein in? And then what's the stretch? Like for this week, what is the stretch? And
Mhm.
for me, because I travel a lot, it's
Yeah.
always food prep. So I am mindful that I am going to need to go grocery shopping tomorrow to get myself prepped. And so because when I have the foods in the house, I'm
Mhm.
good. So I
Mhm.
think my commitment for this week, and this is where I really want to like buddy up with everybody just to like have some accountability, and you can put it into the chat. Um, you can put messages on our Instagram page where we promote
Mhm.
this. Like what's my stretch for this week? So my stretch is on Saturday to go grocery shopping, get all the fresh veggies in place, and then I think I'm like off to the races. I found this new thing. So I'm vegetarian, and there's this new thing. It sounds really gross. It's a chicken cutlet made from mycelium mushroom, which is like
Hmm.
the roots
I've
of
seen
mushroom.
it.
Okay, but the crispy one, like the
Okay.
crisp. I got steak, and I thought that was gross. The
Yeah, the
plain
steak was
chicken,
gross.
the plain chicken is like doable, but the crispy one, I was like, oh. So, and that's a big chunk of protein. So
Mhm.
I've been really focusing on splitting my protein throughout the day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Right.
So that's my commitment this week, is really to make sure I do food prep, because when it's there, I eat it.
My stretch this week is really super I'm really stretching. I'm really stretching. My stretch this week is I have this, I call it my little cheat snacks that I love to do. And this week, 'cause I was doing so good, my cheat was potato chips. Okay. So I want to stretch it out. So my cheat is not even a cheat. My celebration of what I'm doing. I want to find the like plantain chips or the other really healthy chips. I love the crunch.
Yeah.
I love the crunch. And to maybe find there's another, I think it's pita chips, or there's something else that I've seen at a Whole Foods. I'm going to switch it up. So my stretch is stay out of the potato chips this week and drop into, and mind you, even the way I'm eating, I'm still losing. I'm still like feeling good. I'm feeling comfortable. And I didn't judge myself with the potato chips. I'm like, I had some potato chips. They were great potato chips.
Yeah. So your
You
stretch this
know,
week is you're going to find your crunch. You
I'm
need
going
a
to
crunch.
find my crunch. I'm
Yeah,
going to
and
find my crunch.
I know we're going to a commercial. I
Yeah.
did want to
Mhm.
say that when you do have, like, whatever your program is, whatever it is you're doing with diet, it's
Yeah.
important to give yourself a little something yum. Otherwise at some point, you break and you go like, ah. So you did put potato chips this week and last week, and now you're going to find a new crunch.
I'm going to find a new yum. All
Crunch yum.
right.
All right.
I think it's time for our commercial.
Awesome.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Julie and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
Okay, so we did a bit of a diet check-in to see where we're at and make a commitment for next week with foods. How about like physical health? Is there anything in particular like you want to focus on for this week when it comes to, and it could be maybe stretching, getting some stretching in. It could be cardio. It could be strength training. It could be steps. Like, what does your body want? You know, I remember there were so many months, especially during the pandemic, where I knew my body wanted to dance or needed to stretch, and I just wasn't doing it. So I'm taking this moment right now to think like, okay, what's the check-in and the reboot when it comes to physical? And I wasn't thinking about that, but I think I want to like make a commitment to get a little dance in this week.
Ooh,
Maybe
wow.
it's because I'm standing with my desk. But I think that's going to be my stretch this week. There is this class that I love online, and it's just so like feminine and sexy and beautiful. And so I'm gonna get into a class this week.
Oh my goodness. I love that. So my stretch for physical practice is actually taking more yoga. Here's what I do. I teach so many classes throughout the week, and sometimes you forget it's a difference from instructing to practicing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stretch this week to be consistent at least twice this week, to be in a class that I'm not teaching, that I'm practicing. So I did yoga this morning. I was online at 7:00 at the Insight Timer, and I do a Friday morning, 7 a.m. yoga class. It's part of my service commitment to the universe. You know, it's a donation class. Sometimes people give, sometimes it's not about the giving, but
Right.
it is about me being of service, my intention. But I want to be in a place where I am in practice. So today I had planned to go after this to take a class, but I'm off to get my computer checked on.
Right.
But I will be taking a class tomorrow morning at 11:45. I'm already going to book myself in, because once I book myself in the class, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Because you
Okay,
get dinged if you don't. You lose that class if you don't. I'm going, I ain't losing that
My
class.
money's
It's too much to be losing that class. So I'm showing up.
Yes.
So
Okay.
that is my stretch this week, is to be in practice versus teaching, because there is something about when I'm allowing myself to be focusing on me, connecting, breathing, being very awake and aware of how the body's moving. That is a whole different experience than me leading a class. So that's my
Yeah.
stretch.
That's beautiful. And how about so we did diet, we did food, we did physical, and how about a spiritual stretch? So to check in, I was sharing with you throughout the week, I started really taking a look at where am I, you know, spiritually, with what I share spiritually, with what I share professionally, and where am I at? Where do I want to be? What's the bridge? And so you and I are going to do some work tomorrow. So that's good accountability. And to continue that this week, to get really clear, because sometimes, you know, I have shiny object syndrome, where there's so many things I want to do, and I start this, and then I'm like, but what about that? And then
Here's your brother. Here's your brother. Here's your brother right here. Is
Right.
like,
So that's why I want to get really clear about what's the undergirding intention. And then things are either an easy yes or no. So I'm going to continue that by working with you tomorrow. I'm going to continue that by going through some of those questions of, you know, doing the life visioning process again. You know,
again.
what is God's greatest idea of itself as my very life? What I currently have that's in support of that, what needs to be released or let go of, if anything, in order to be that, and what is God's greatest idea of itself as my life. So that's going to be, I got to get back to the root. Otherwise, I'm just spinning.
I love it. And you just gave me my spiritual stretch. I am going to not be distracted, because I can sit down, set my timer, I'm going to sit, I'm going to meditate, lock and load it, let's go. And breathe. And then all of a sudden I'll get a thought, oh, you gotta go in and send off that email. And I will stop my meditation sometimes, send that email so I don't forget. And I'm always like, let me just do it right now, and then I'll come back to the meditation. And guess what happens? I don't all back to the meditation.
I feel that.
I want to not be so distracted and set a time. Also, to be clearing a space where no screen. And I like to do my music, sometimes meditation, but no screen. On Insight Timer, I did the app, I have a timer in there. I'm listening to maybe a sound bowl healing. That's fine, all good. But the screen needs to be down. The phone needs to be turned down. I want to just be in a space of pure bliss and pure spirit. So that's my spiritual stretch. Less distractions, more deep intention.
You want to know what I started doing? Because I totally relate to that. Like I sit to meditate, and then I remember, oh. So when I sit now, I let the first 10 or 15 minutes be like an emptying out. And so I do have my phone right next to me as I sit, but it's part of the plan. And so as I sit and I get quiet, everything starts to bubble up. And so I make notes. I send off the thing. If it's something quick, I get it off, or I make a note, or I keep a list so that I empty out. That helps me, because if I don't empty it out, then I'm meditating, but I'm still thinking like, oh, I have to remember that. I have to remember that. So that's what's been helping me stay in my practice.
I love that. I love that. Really being awake and aware, mindful. I'm using that word in the book, in Transform in 10. I'm actually having people to use the word meditation and mindfulness in a way where it makes it, either or is fine. You can use the word mindfulness. You can use the word meditation. Meditation actually sometimes can be a little bit scary for people, spiritual scary. So mindfulness, in people who are not connected with meditation, mindfulness feels a little bit doable, a little bit more doable. So part of the mindfulness that I'm going to invite our people to understand, our viewers and listeners to maybe drop into what we kind of started last week, the ABCs of eating.
Let's do it.
The mindful eating. And the ABCs are amount, balance, and connection. So we said the amount is how much you're putting into your body. We want to move more, eat less, of course. And then the balance is more plant-based. If you're not fully plant-based, move towards more plant-based food that loves you back. But I want to take us through a process of connection. So if you're able to, just place your feet on the floor and go ahead and close your eyes, or drop the gaze to the heart. That brings us to an internal experience. Just follow your breath. And as we are connecting with why we are eating and what it is to eat, there's a simple process. And through the breath, allowing yourself just to settle in. And knowing that everything within you, you already know. You're not seeking for knowledge outside of yourself. You're connecting with your higher self to answer simple questions. First question is, why am I eating? Why am I looking for food to nourish my body? Am I eating because it is time to replenish nutrients? Am I eating because I'm bored, sad, happy? Because I want to celebrate? Why am I eating? And continue to breathe. The next round of questions we ask, what does my body require at this time? What is the body temple asking for in this ceremony, the sacred practice of eating? Is it fruit, vegetables? Is it protein? Is it a form of carbohydrates? What is my body requiring? We allow ourselves just to continue on. And the third question we ask, what foods do I feel good when I eat? What foods do I feel good, comforted, inspired, energized? What foods love me back? Take a breath. Exhale. And just open up your eyes. And any form of those questions really want you to be connecting and mindful of your practice of eating. Any form of that you can do, you can turn it around, you can make it your own, create your own contemplative experience. And the one thing I want to say, and I'll close with this, is that when you do a contemplative meditation, it's very, very important that we ask the question, but we give space to hear the answer. Now, I was very quick with our, or lasered because of the time that we have, but normally I will sit there and just listen. It takes a moment for it to drop into my experience. So be awake and aware for the process of eating. That is the connection of the ABCs of eating, mindful eating.
I love it. I want to share a couple things that came up.
Sure.
One of them is when you said, like, check in with the body and see what it wants to eat.
Mm-hmm.
That resonated for me because there are times when, like, it would normally be the time of day that I would have my sweet thing, you know?
Yeah.
And there have been times that when I am mindful and I check in, I'm like, oh no, I want savory. Like I want protein. And then I have like this little dialogue inside myself because it's like, no, you are going to have your treat. Don't you want your treat? But I feel like my body needs power. My body needs some strength in it, not, the treat thing. There's this, it's like a protein cookie. It's from the brand Toto, Toto. And they're, I get like the dark chocolate chip and it tastes good. It's like, it's satisfying. But there are times when it's like, that's my time to have my, vegan chocolate chip cookie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm checking in with myself and I'm like, no, my body wants some power, it wants some strength. So that really lands for me a lot to think about it. And when you asked, to ask yourself, what do I want to eat for? I had like this really inspired image, like to be this light on the stage and screen, and light needs radiance. It needs vitality. It needs, and boy, that awareness feels very different than, if I'm going to eat stuff that slogs me down. So that I found that really helpful to be mindful. And then one other thing is I really love the conscientiousness of environment, setting the environment. I notice that my body responds differently. My digestion responds differently when I am like in an environment that is soothing, that is calm, that is lovely, that has, maybe a little flickering candlelight action or some, fresh blossom or things like that. So I wanted to bring that into the mix as well, to create your environment and be mindful of it. It's like all the studies that are done with plants and how if you grow a plant and you've got really chaotic, like loud bashing noises playing, it grows one way or actually doesn't grow. And then you grow a plant with beautiful, harmonious music playing and it blossoms and thrives. Our bodies are the same thing. What environment are you shoveling food into? And I'm speaking to myself, like, what's the environment? Is it lovely? Is it kind? And that loops back to where we started, which is I am doing the exact same things this past week that I was doing 2 weeks ago and getting what felt like zero results.
Yeah.
But I have more calm and peace. And all of a sudden, like big movement, in the direction that I want to go. So,
and when you said the word,
passes.
I love it. Well, when you, and I'll get just for a moment, when you said environment, what came to mind for me, not even our internal environment or our home environment, I am also just got to download environment in the world. I am going to make a commitment. I'm stretching to find a farmer's market this week. Is what I normally do, and I know there are many farmers markets on a Sunday, and I work on a Sunday. I go to church. I just want to get home. Da, da, da. I'm going to make it even maybe on Saturday after we finish. I'll look. The farmer market is always best when you go early, and I always like, when I go later on, I don't get everything I want. But I'm going to make it. I know there's some Thursday farmers market. I really always felt so connected to Mother Earth when I'm shopping at the farmer's market.
Yeah, that's great. And food tastes better.
It sure does.
Fresher, all of it.
Yeah. But you have a process for us as well, right? Are you going to do your process today?
Let's do like a quick deep dive to get a neural imprint, meaning a print, a memory into our nervous system of what it is we don't want, because it is so easy to line item every single thing we don't want. So let's take a minute. And once again, if you're not driving or operating equipment, and you could gently close your eyes and have an exhale, and just right where the tone we started from, wash over with gratitude. Let yourself feel grateful, especially if you feel like there is nothing to be grateful for. If you're really in it in this moment, and we all have times and seasons of our lives when we're in it, take a breath, find something to be grateful for. On the exhale, let something go. Breathing in ease and comfort and peace. And it's the ease, comfort, and peace that is eternal and unwavering, not impacted by external experiences. There is a river of consciousness, a river of good, a river of God, a river of peace and flow and ease and grace that is unwavering no matter what's happening in the world. So we're tuning into that frequency right now of peace that is eternal, that is always, that is forever. And on the exhale, releasing out anything that no longer serves. Releasing complaining. Releasing all the critiquing and the judging and the assessing and the just having a moment to be peace right now. And as we be peace in this moment, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to allow peace. To allow peace. And remembering throughout the entire body temple, throughout all cells, all organs, all activities and functions of your body temple, just allowing a remembrance of our true name and nature, of the true vitality, that youthful energy, the flexibility, the strength, the endurance, the power, the joy, the pleasure, the bliss, the ecstasy. Breathing it in, and on the exhale, sloughing off whatever no longer serves. Toxic ways of being, toxic ways of thinking. And imagine, see, sense, visualize, pretend that you can get an image of yourself as you ideally desire yourself to be in this moment, in this season of your life. Get an image of you, how you most desire yourself to be. What do you look like? How do you dress? Where do you go? What do you do? Who do you spend time with? How are you serving? How does your presence uplift and make better? Get an image. No matter what's happening in your life, get an image in this moment of how you want it to be, of what you most ideally desire yourself to be. Bright, shining. The level of vitality, the level of radiance, the level of joy. How is your presence of service to humanity? I often think, how is it that I am here? I am here to be a beneficial presence on the planet. You know, get that image in your mind's eye. Get an image in your mind's eye. Get an image in your mind's eye. How am I serving? How am I serving? How am I serving? And let that image be bright. Let it be compelling. Like you could turn up the volume of color, of radiance. Let it feel good. Let it feel exciting. Let it feel compelling when you are being everything you are God intended to be. How do you dress? How do you care for your body? What do you look like? Where do you go? Who do you spend time with? What do you do? Take a breath, breathe it in, let it feel good, let it feel exciting. And now take a snapshot of that image and imagine that it breaks into trillions and trillions of light particles and they rain down, they shower down upon your body, becoming part of your very cellular makeup, imprinting into every proton, every neutron, every electron, every cell of your beingness. Memories of you fully alive, fully radiant. Let it imprint into your whole body temple. Take a breath, let it feel exciting, let it feel compelling. Allow it to be now. Let it to be light and life and goodness. And I just say, and so it is, amen.
So it is, amen. I'm going to allow those practices to be our takeaway for today because we are right at that time. So it's all good and good. So takeaway, this is what we're taking away. These practices, I'm asking you to take away this as well. Where can people find you, Reverend Julie?
On Instagram at Rev Julie Moret. That's where I am most present. So I'd love to have you find me there. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Rev Julie Moret as well. And get on my email list on my website at juliemoret.com and find out when I'm teaching again.
Love it. Love it. And I'm on Instagram, Rev Skip Jennings, also on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Rev Skip Jennings, Inspired Transformation. And soon you'll see the 50 and Beyond Tribe page coming up very, very soon. Or you can go to my website, skipjennings.com, find out more information. And again, trip to Bali. We have 8 spots left. So if you want to go to Bali with me, March 14th through the 27th, please reach out to me at my website. And also, I want to make sure that y'all know this is a ministry. So if you want to donate to the New Thought Media Network, just go to ntmedia.org/donate to continue our sustainability in our community and our New Thought community. So, and again, I always say that this time goes by so quickly, Rev. It's just like, hello, it's time.
It's a pleasure being with you.
Absolutely. I love you, Rev. And y'all, remember, transformation is a choice you chose today, and we're just grateful for you. Peace and blessings, and we'll see you next week.
Woohoo.